According to Kyle Shanahan, the San Francisco 49ers have 3 people that they can start in week 1. Wayne, normally the team that wins the Super Bowl has a Super Bowl hangover. What do you call what we going through? Welcome to this week's episode, this Tuesday's episode of the No Harm, No Foul show. I am your boy, Mike Andrews. To my right is my man, Wayne Breezy. Wayne, what's going on, big dog? How you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm Gucci. Football's this week. Niners play Friday.
This like Pokemon. Can you zoom in on that? That joint look fire. I gotta see. Is that hard or is it like sewn on? The Pokemon 49ers look. Yeah, is that hard?
It's like silicone or rubber, whatever you want.
That's crazy. That looks so dope, man.
Thank you, bro.
I wish, yo, when I can start wearing hats again, y'all in trouble. I'm telling you,
I'm
I'm changing the whole game.
Wearing hats again, bro. Well, they do sell the big hats, so you can get the big hats.
I know you're not talking about the.
That'll fit your head.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and go home, man. This game is over. This game is already over. I mean, this show is over. I don't even care no more. Wait a minute. Kyle goes to the podium and like delivers like the worst of the like. He's like, no Hufunga this week. Maybe not by week 1. No Ricky Pearsall this week. Maybe not by week 1. Who else? He said somebody else too. No Trent Williams.
This week. Feliciano's had to have surgery. Well, he had
Feliciano surgery. Got cut up. Like, how come they make it sound like Feliciano was like just dealing with something lingering? Like, y'all knew he didn't just schedule the surgery and y'all didn't know that was what was coming up.
Like, well, we knew he was dealing with a knee injury, but they were trying to just keep it undisclosed until they probably had to disclose it, right?
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
What's the competitive advantage to not disclosing it? Like, it's preseason.
I don't think it's about competitive advantage at this point. Like, I think it's just one of those things. I mean, it just said he just had surgery. So if he just had surgery, they're disclosing it now, right? He had the knee injury, and maybe he didn't get surgery until recently, like, which might have been yesterday, today. This is the first time they spoke since the game. So,
starting left tackle in the Super Bowl was who?
Trent Williams.
Who was the starting left guard?
Aaron Banks.
Who was the starting center?
Jake Brendel. He's available.
Who was the starting right guard?
It was Spencer Burford, but he will be back this week doing hand drills. I'm not. I'm not trying to smile.
And then when Burford was pulled, they put in Feliciano, right?
Yep. He's going on the IR for. He's going to be one of the players that the Niners look to bring back. I think that's a smart move, though, because the way the rules change for the IR this year, that will be one of the 8 players that they get an opportunity. It's not season ending. You know what I'm saying? Like, usually when you put a player on IR before they make the roster, it's season ending. Like, they would have to make the 53, and then you could put them on the IR for them to return. Now you could put 2 players on there, I believe, before the 53-man roster.
So the Niners
currently have 1 on there.
Super Bowl. Well, no, I thought there was 2.
It's just 1. Everybody else is on the P. Feliciano's the only one that's on the IR that they're looking to bring back.
Oh, they put Burford. Who got the hand surgery? That was
Burford and Banks didn't go on anything. They just got surgery.
Oh, so they just still listed as just there.
Right.
Okay. All right. What are your expectations for Ricky Pearsall?
None. 0. I told you earlier that he should be the red shirt guy. I don't know. Now everybody's talking about how he should be the red shirt. I told you months ago that Ricky Pearsall can be the candidate for the red shirt rookie once he was in that blue non-contact football jersey.
See, like you did, but I felt like that was a bit of an overreaction. Like we got to find out what happened to him. But you've been on it. So what do they do with your boy Garindo then?
Well, Garindo's returning to practice full, ready to go.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Garindo's at practice today.
Right now. He suited up. He out there running routes, like making contact, or he just on the side? Man,
he's at practice, practicing. Full practice. But everybody thought Isaac Garindo was the guy that was going to go on the season-ending IR. And I kept saying, nah, it's just a hamstring injury. You're not going to put that and risk that. We're talking about a kid, first-round draft pick, in a stacked wide receiving room, especially if Brandon Ayuk returns. And even if Brandon Ayuk doesn't return, the room's still stacked. Now, as far as guys being able to get open, that's another conversation. But now you're asking Juwan Jennings, hey, look, we signed you here. You got to do more. Like, hey, Debo, got to do more. And you like what you saw from Jacob Cowing. So, and then you got the veteran Chris Conley. This to me, if you do go ahead and put Ricky Pearsall on that list, you could put him on the IR and have him return midseason too. And those will be your two players, right? That you can have return midseason that you don't have to cut. They won't take up a roster spot.
Right. Now, what is there two different IR lists? What list? Some my man left with surgery. The pass rusher, Drake Jackson.
Drake Jackson definitely was designated for season-ending IR. Do you understand?
He
cannot
so
return.
Different lists.
Okay, yeah.
IR to return and then season-ending IR.
So the new rules this year is you can put two players on that list to return. Now, before, if you designated a player to that list, they were done for the season. Last year was Cam Latu.
And this year he's tight end 2.
Tight end 4.
Oh, okay. Keep talking. Keep talking. You keep talking. All right. So we did find something to be positive about. We have Isaac Garindo returning. Do you think he gets any carries in his third preseason game?
Absolutely. If he's healthy, he's going to get carries. I think Patrick Taylor, the second, returns too, so you might see some of them. Don't be surprised if the 49ers release running backs Keyshawn Vaughn, wide receiver Robbie Chosen. It'd be interesting to see those guys get waived this week.
So teams have to cut down. Today's Tuesday, right?
No,
they have to cut down next Tuesday. No, today's Tuesday though. So they have to cut down to 53 a week from today.
Correct.
So that'll be a fun show to try to, figure out who's going to be where and all that stuff. That we always do that the right way.
By 4 p.m. Eastern too.
Right, like when we start. So the list will be coming out as we start the show.
Correct.
Oh, that's gonna be fire.
Yeah. So we'll have our list pre-done and then that'd be cool.
Do we pre-record and release it,
no,
or
absolutely not?
Do we do our list on your show?
We give a live reaction. We could do the list on my show. We could create the list on my show and then do the live reaction to the list on the Harmon.
Yeah. Because then we can keep it real. We can, we're gonna do that either way. But like, we could really no harm, no foul. Like, this sucker shouldn't be here over that guy. Like, that'll be dope. So, what other things do we find to be positive from today's presser? Because Kyle just put a whole damper on my joint. Like, I don't think Trent Williams is coming back by week 1. Even if he signed today, I mean, it's 2 weeks to get in football shape.
I mean, I feel like there are a couple players you can trust to be into somewhat of football shape. I think I think that the Niners are lucky that it's these two players. When you look at Trent Williams, I don't see anybody beating him off the edge. And when you look at Brandon Ayuk, I think he still has the ability to get open. So my hope is that they figure it out. But we're talking contract negotiations, and those can last for whatever. But Kyle didn't give me that sense that they weren't or that they will. He just pretty much said that there's 0 updates, nothing has changed, which is what I still expect, because right now it's still training camp. So once training camp ends on Friday, I think the wheels will start churning for a guy like Trent Williams, because there will be no more training camp, and now it's official practice. And so I think that's when he'll show up.
Crazy. So he's already missing.
He's over
2 game checks.
A couple of million. He's not missing game checks yet. He's just missing. He's missing a few million. He's missing practice money. He's not missing game check money.
With the new rule in the CBA, when you miss preseason games, they can take game checks.
Oh, I didn't know that. But oh well, he don't care.
Oh well, he don't care.
I mean,
He gotta
he
care, man.
wasn't gonna play in the games anyway. So like at the end of the day, like, you know what I mean? He wasn't gonna play in the game. He's on that list, so he's getting fined at this point. But I'm sure the Niners. Come on now, we know how money can be made up over time. I think the reason why Trent's taking so long is because he just doesn't feel he needs to participate in the stuff that's going on right now. Practice, training camp, Training camp is different from practice, even though they're practicing at training camp. Trent Williams is a lock on this roster. So
is he?
Yeah, Mike.
Huh? A lot of people have been singing the praises of Hubbard. I've seen. I mean, what's up,
Mike?
Man? I'm just
ain't nobody been singing no praises of no Chris Hubbard over Trent Williams. Them guys
I say over. No.
Right. So that means he's still a lock. Because you wouldn't have insinuated that if you didn't think he was. That's what you said.
I'm just making sure that you on the same page.
He's a lock. Period. End of discussion.
And what about Ayuk? Like he definitely a lock too, right?
Yeah, these are locks. Like these are like, these guys are gonna make the roster. I mean, Ayuk is. I don't care what people say. I know Ayuk is sitting back or sitting up in that skybox, being like, pretty soon the Niners gonna cave. Like what else can this is his leverage. He is literally not doing anything but getting leverage every week preseason goes on. How? He's watching these other wide receivers not be good. They can't get open. Like, and now if you watch this film, you'd be like, dang, wide receivers couldn't get open. Like, they couldn't get open. They couldn't get open. They couldn't get open. They couldn't get open. And I know on last night's episode of a Nitty Gritty Niners Talk, we talked about Brock Purdy looking rusty. Because, yeah, he had some bad throws. You know what I'm saying? He looked rusty out there. It looked like he was rushing some things. But at the end of the day, it wasn't because the offensive line. It wasn't because he had people that literally were running wrong routes, not being able to get open. And you could tell, like, it was a lot of miscommunication going on out there. So that's part of the reason why he looked rusty. But at the end of the day, you don't get that rust when you got Deebo Samuel running underneath. You have Brandon Ayuk taking the top off the defense. You got Jawan Jennings working the space. You don't get the rust. Like, you'll probably get more accurate readings and accurate throws. Plus, Christian McCaffrey being in the backfield changes up because the defense looks a lot different when you get Christian McCaffrey in the backfield opposed to Cody Schrader. So at the end of the day, they need Brandon Ayuk.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said what you said about Cody Schrader and Christian McCaffrey. So we don't expect. We know Christian McCaffrey won't be doing anything. I don't think we're expecting Elijah Mitchell to do anything in this final preseason game, right?
Good point. I'm not, but that's a good point.
Okay. So
I don't think Jordan Mason plays either. This is the Isaac Guerrero, Patrick Taylor, the guys we haven't seen yet game. Last week we got Cody Schrader. I don't think we see Schrader. Why I call him Schrader?
Because I said Breida and it merged. I'm with you though. I'm with you. I think we need to see Schrader because he did not look good.
I would like to see Schrader again. He wasn't bad. He was really good in pass pro. So when the Niners were passing, he was protecting the quarterback. I thought he ran the ball decent, but he didn't give you much production. I mean, he hit the holes when he had to hit the hole, but there was not much of a hole for him to hit. A lot of times he was tackled in the backfield. He had the most tackles for loss in this game. So I think you get those guys. This is the week of Patrick Taylor II. This is the week of Isaac Guerrero. These are the guys we have not seen. They're going to get the bulk of everything. I wouldn't be surprised if it's no. Dang, because when you look at it from this perspective, who's going to be the vet? Is it going to be Patrick Taylor II? Is it going to be Keyshawn Vaughn? Or is it going to be Matt Breida? They're going to keep one vet. Like, so which vet are they going to try to stash on the practice squad? Which vet can they cut and bring back to the practice squad? I think Cody Schrader is a cut guy. I don't think anybody's going to pick him up. So the question is, do they keep two running backs on the practice squad? Do they keep a young guy? Do they keep an old guy? And so that, like, you only get 17 spots. But you only get 7 spots for veterans. So that's even worse because how many vets you trying to keep on your practice squad when it comes to the veterans? And that's a list that we got to really kind of like sit there and ponder. You know what I'm saying? You can keep 17 players, but 7 of them are specified for vets.
Is Elijah Mitchell a lock?
I think Elijah Mitchell's still a lock. I think those are your three guys. I think it's Mitchell, Mason, McCaffrey.
McCaffrey.
Yeah.
Triple M gang. Okay. All right, man. I'm not gonna argue against it. It was just a little weird thing. Now,
I would start Breida this game if I was Kyle Shanahan. I would start Breida and then trickle in the guys that we haven't seen yet. I wouldn't even play Mason. You don't need to. You already know what Mason
wouldn't play
do.
Mason. I wouldn't touch Mason with a 10.
He's dealing with soreness too, whatever the hell that means. But at the end of the day, my point is, I don't think he needs to play. We know what Mason can do. I do want to see how Mason is in pass pro though, especially in this game. That would be a good test for him. They got a pretty good pass rush.
You do want to see Mason.
Now that I think about it, against this pass rush, I actually do.
But are you assuming that Crosby plays? Because if
it's not just Crosby, they got a pretty solid pass rush over there. But I am assuming that Crosby plays.
You think we run our starters out there?
I think we bring some of the starters out there. I think the offensive line has been.
You think George Kittle gets on the field?
No.
You think Fred Warner gets on the field?
Yes. Defense be different.
You think Debo get on the field?
Yes. I think Debo plays.
I think Debo better not play.
I don't want him to play.
I can't justify him playing after him not playing this last week. So that's what I'm saying. I don't see it now. If he had played one snap last week, I'd be like, yeah. This week, I don't get it. I don't see how you don't play him, and now because of last week. There had to have been a reason. So when they talked to Kyle and John on KNBR, they said there's just some players that we know they know how to get ready for the regular season, and they don't need to participate in preseason games.
Well, so
I'm looking at it from what types of players they were talking about.
I'm looking at it from a perspective of we saw what the offense looked like when those guys aren't out there, and so if Kyle wants to see what his offense, if Kyle wants to see what his offense can do, you're already going to be down to Christian McCaffrey. I think Debo can go out for 11, 12, 13 plays. I think you could give him that. I think him and Jawan Jennings need to be the starting receivers in this game. And Jawan Jennings is dealing with an oblique too.
Yes, and I don't know. Did Kyle say he's returning to practice yet?
Not yet.
Did you think he had bars, or was he like, what was that? His IG post, something about like, okay. Nina Rich says Kyle already said the starters will play. Kyle said the same thing last week, and 2 starters played. So
right, so starters, you got to look at it. Nina Rich is there 22 starters, so it might be 4 of them playing.
Right, and technically starters played. So Kyle's he's good with the words. He's a wordsmith. Wayne, who stood out to you, man, this last game, man? This is your turn, man. I want to hear who stood out to you from this game, because you're saying we don't need to see certain people. You hope to see more of certain people.
Yeah. I think offensively, there was 2 players, right? So it was really good to see what Jacob Collin did out there as the wide receiver. When I watched some of his snaps, I'm watching him get down the field. Like that's how they utilize him, right? I need you to take the top off this defense. They also utilize him in the jet reverse sweep run, which we used to use with Brandon Ayuk. I don't know if you remember that, but Brandon Ayuk's rookie season, that's what. Remember last year I said to you on one of our shows, we do like 50,000 shows. I said, why are we not? No one would know it's coming. Like no one has seen Brandon Ayuk take the jet reverse sweep out of the backfield in a long time.
They've seen Jawan Jennings do it more recently.
Exactly. So that's a curveball to the defense, because if Brandon Ayuk is being defended, find a different way. Well, I don't know if it was Kubiak or Kyle Shanahan who was calling the play at that time for that particular play call, but it was good to see Cowing come in after the hamstring injury and look like he belongs in the NFL, right? Like look like he belongs in the NFL, in my opinion. And then I got to go with the other rookie, Dominic Pooney, 3rd round pick for the 49ers. I mean, the kid's been a monster. He's been handling his own. And remember I said to you, Mike, I said this would be the ultimate test for Dominic Pooney to let me know if he was ready for the big leagues. I said that, and I told you why. And I said because of Cam Jordan. And you said who? I said Cam Jordan. You said he's still playing the NFL. I said yes. I watched Dominic Pooney do to Cam Jordan what he did to Fred Warner in practice. And Fred Warner is much faster. Cam Jordan is much stronger. Dominic Pooney took him down that line, Get off my court. You ain't getting near me. And so like that is what I needed to see, because you're talking about elite pass rushers in the NFL, and sometimes guards struggle against the pass rushers, right? Right? They struggle when the pass rusher moves from outside to inside. They stunt. They do all these different types of things. Dominic Puni was the man. So
he's got to be the most active offensive lineman we've had in a long time, right?
Ready to go. He's like ready to go. I mean, the Burford injury was perfect for him because it allowed him to slide right in. Now, I'm not saying he would have beaten or would not have beaten Burford out for the spot, but the
it was
injury,
good to see him get more opportunities.
Absolutely.
Earlier.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
those are my two offensive players.
Okay, so two offensive players. Jacob Cowing, the rookie, getting his first couple of reps. Let me give him a short round of applause also, sorry. Getting his first couple of reps there. Good for him. Good for him. I like that.
He only gave it one pressure in that game too, by the way.
Puni?
Mm-hmm. I mentioned that on the show. I mentioned that on the Wayne Breezy show, but
people
don't like to watch that show for some reason.
You guys are weird. You guys
Very
are weird. I don't know why you wouldn't watch the Wayne Breezy show. It's a really good show.
Not the people in this chat, but you know what
I mean. No, that is phenomenal for him. Let me ask you this question before we get on to your other players. Out of Cowing and Puni, who would you say had a better game? Both of them did well. Let me be very clear. We are highlighting the guys, but I just want to see who you think had a better game.
It's tough, right? I mean, everybody, usually it goes to the playmaker. Puni's not a playmaker. He's a play designer. He helps set up the play for the playmaker. But, I mean, I think I got to give it to Cowing because we haven't seen it before. All I needed from Puni was to be consistent. And so not only did he give me consistency, he gave me consistency against elite. And so when you give me consistency against elite, I already know you're going to be that guy. But Jacob Cowing, in my opinion, these were his first snaps against a different team. And so I got to give it to Cowing on this one. The Arizona Wildcat, he gets the tip for offensive player of the game for me.
Okay. I like that, man. Jacob Cowing gets the offensive player of the game for Wayne Breezy. All right. Next candidate. I got three defenders. I don't know if it's defense.
I got three defenders, bro. Nobody on special teams wooed me. Other than, the punter was good, but he looking for a job. All right, so three defensive players. You ready?
That was the best punting we ever seen in the 49ers uniform.
Okay. All right, I'll go with two defensive players. I'll go with two defensive. I like it. I'll go with two defensive players, and I'll go with the special teams. I'll go with Presley Harvin III. That's his name, Presley Harvin III. Gotcha.
Oh, I should actually play. I got it.
You slow.
I was because I wasn't expecting it. All right, go ahead. You good?
I'll give it to him. Listen, 4 punts inside the 20. Can't overlook this kid. You know what's hard though? My only issue is my only question is how, and we haven't heard anything about this. So this is crazy, right? No one in the presser, the 49er presser, none of the beat writers thought to ask, how's Mitch Wishnowsky doing?
Well, he was holding. So that's what I don't get. He's holding for the field goals.
Holding and kicking is two different things. So my issue is, how is this injury with his leg? If your hands work, you can get out there. If your legs don't work, you can't punt. So he has a knee injury, right?
You also can't hold if your legs don't work because God forbid it's blocked. You got to pursue. So why? What is he doing out there?
Maybe they're just working out Presley Harvin III. Maybe they're just working him out. I don't know. Or they're just savoring Mitch Wishnowsky. But see, that would be my question because I'm sitting here confused. If I saw him holding, why is he not kicking?
Yeah, I'm with you. I was
gotta ask better questions.
You're active or you're not.
They get paid.
Mm-hmm.
We don't get paid. They get paid. Mm-hmm. I just feel like there's questions you can ask. Anyway, that would have been my question because I feel if Harvin comes in and gives you another solid game, more like game 2 than game 1, there's got to be a controversy here. There's got to be a controversy. Harvin won't cost you much money.
It
And how much would it cost to release Mitch Wishnowsky? Or you're not putting him on the IR. You're not putting a punter on the IR.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And by the way, Tabor Pepper was downfield quick on every single special team snap. I don't know what got into him this offseason. He is moving different. Tabor Pepper is moving different. I was very happy to see him. All right. You got defensive guys, though. So we did it. We convinced Breezy to add in the sprinkle in the special teamer. I like that. Got to show some love to the third phase. All right. What else we got?
All right, so let's go with my defensive players. All right, so my it's gonna come down to a couple of players defensively, and they're rookies. Like it's amazing how these rookies actually stood out, and I don't know if it's because I was kind of like zeroed in on them or if they made themselves stand out to me. I really like what I saw from Renardo Green. I thought he was an outside lock. I thought when he had to match up inside and play nickel, he took most of his snaps outside. But when he had to play nickel, he was a lock. I felt like he only got beat on one throw, and it was an quick inside slant where the throw was perfect from Derek Carr, right? It was perfect to Chris Olave, but Green was on Olave like flies on. Like he was still stuck to him. Like no penalty, nothing. So Renardo Green, great tackler, very physical. You get into physicality from the corners. He's not a big corner, but he plays big. Like
he plays big.
Yeah, like dude, yeah. Kind of like what I thought Womack was gonna do. And then Womack, you know what? I think they messed Womack up, bro. They put him on Kyle Pitts in the slot, and ever since then he has not been the same. Now, it's not a shot, but think about what I'm saying for 1 second. And he played decent in this last preseason game. I thought he might have been one of the second best corner. If I had to rank the corners, it would have been Green, Womack, Luter Jr. Those would have been my top three corners in this past game. But I think Renardo Green is going to be the steal of the draft. I said it on Twitter. Like, however they choose to use him, I think he's going to be the steal of the draft, bro. I really do.
I like that. That would have been tough, but Pooney and Cal ain't going to have something to say. And we haven't even seen Pearsall yet.
But here's the thing. It's harder for offensive linemen to become steals of the draft. Why? Because they're not out there making plays. Think about it.
Okay.
Right. Think about it. If we get more flashes, let's say we get 2 pick sixes from Renardo Green this year. Mm-hmm. He's automatically in contention for Defensive Player of the Year.
I mean, shoot, that's good enough to get you an All-Pro nod in the NFL if you want.
You get what I'm trying. You get what I'm trying to say. So, like, what would Dominic Pooney have to do to get Offensive Player of the Year?
That's no sacks allowed.
No sacks and catch a touchdown pass or something. Like he's gonna have to do something plus the no sacks.
If he get a touchdown before Trent, we riot.
Oh hell yeah, 100%. 100%.
All right. And then there was one more. I like it. I like the Green. Salute to him. Salute the Green. We got one more defensive player that really stood out to you. Now, this means that you're going to be leaving somebody off of your list because you had 3.
Left somebody
but there's got to be an honorable mention. If we got time, we'll lay in the honorable mention.
I can give you an honorable mention. Guys, I told you on the day of the draft that this draft pick was going to be a problem. Now, I understand that he's low on the depth chart. But when it comes to this team, that can be a good thing. That means the team is pretty much stacked. But the question is, what can you do to stand out? I think Tatum Bethune did what he needed to do to let everybody know that he's a linebacker in the NFL. A lot of questioning with his speed, but around the run, I'm sorry, Mike, what did the 49ers struggle in stopping? It's the run. I ain't the pass. It's the run. I don't need him on there on passing downs. We're talking now. We're talking strong side linebacking with a Fred Warner, and you can still put Campbell at the weak side, like in your base. If anything was to happen, I'm not saying he's a starter yet, but I like what I saw. I'm talking 10 overall tackles in this game. 6 of them were solo tackles by himself. He had a tackle for a loss. Like around the line of scrimmage, he's going to be a problem. Where he's going to struggle is in coverage. Now, if they force him to have to cover, to drop back on a running back or a tight end, he might struggle. But we got to remember, he's a hybrid kid out of Florida State.
I was going to say, he sounds like every other strong safety we got.
He played safety.
I'm sorry. I couldn't help it. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Did the Niners create that position?
I don't know.
No, but I'm asking. I'm dead ass asking you a question because I did this. I don't remember which show. It might have been the John and Wayne show today, and I said I don't know which show it was. Might have been Nitty Gritty Niners Talk last night. Go watch the episode, and I was like, damn, Marcel Harris, Eric Reed, these were all safeties that they were trying to convert to linebacker, and they couldn't do it. And then they got it right with Fred Warner.
Yeah.
And it seems like I would like to see Talanoa Hufanga play big nickel on a package.
I want to know who your honorable mention was.
You really want to know my honorable mention?
I was listening to Granny right there. See, y'all couldn't tell, but my grandma had this saying about if you don't have nothing nice to say,
don't say it at all.
Anything. Okay, so tell me about your honorable mention here.
I got 2 honorable mention players.
Oh, so you was really feeling the defense then?
Oh, the defense was on one. You listen. They gave up 134 yards on the ground, but ask me how many yards they gave up in the air.
How many yards they give up in the air?
I wanted to say it was around the same. It was about 130, which is not a lot. Yeah. Right?
No,
they didn't get beat. They gave up 1 touchdown that game. You're talking about layers of defense. There was no starting defenders out there other than your young players like Jair Brown, George Odom. But those weren't the guys that stood up because they only played 11 snaps. Bro.
137 and 134.
Oh, I was close. I said around the same, right?
Yeah.
260 something, 270 total, something like that.
271, yeah.
Hey, Mike, check this out. You ready? My honorable mention players. Alex Barrett. I'm curious to see if he steps up finally on the depth chart as far as being some of the edge rushing help. It seems like every other now and then he has this matchup where he's able to take advantage of. And you got to talk about a guy that was able to not only get the sack, but to force a fumble, strip the ball out of quarterback's hand, and recover it at the same time. This motherfucker, if he got points in fantasy football, that's like 13 points right there by himself. It goes to the defense, but he did it. You got to give this guy some credit because the question is, do the 49ers see him moving on up the depth chart when it comes to Nick Bosa, Leonard Floyd? I think you go Gross Matos. And then maybe Alex Barrett. Like that, I can't even tell you the rest of the depth. Like, that's crazy. And we got other guys, Jonathan Garvin, other guys. So there was guys were newly brought in, Sam McCornu, like those guys. I like what Alex Barrett did in this particular game. And then my other honorable mention guy was the veteran linebacker, Curtis Robinson.
Okay. Curtis, Curtis was out there doing his thing. You know what was weird, man, with Barrett? I just can't figure him out.
He's inconsistent. That's why I said. But he gets it for this game. You asked me for this game.
But yeah. No, you're right. No, absolutely. But he just sticks around the team.
The team needs him.
He's never too far away from the 49ers at all.
He's probably a great worker. Is this one of the players like we required in like a trade or something like a while ago?
There's got to be something that keeps him so close to the vest, so close to their heart for these teams. But I don't know, man. I don't know.
Wasn't Alex Barrett the one that actually blocked the punt in the NFC Championship game against Green Bay, and Hufanga picked it up?
No, it wasn't.
Oh, who was that?
It was a safety.
No, it wasn't a safety. It was somebody we traded, right? We traded that player.
Yes. Oh God. Who blocked the Packers?
Jordan Willis. It was Jordan Willis. Thank you, Niner faithful. It was Jordan Willis. And we traded him. I feel like Alex Barrett, the reason why I brought that up is because I feel like Alex Barrett can be that, because Jordan Willis did nothing but make a big play, like every now and then.
And he went crazy in preseason. I don't know if you remember. He might have.
He did go crazy in preseason. Yeah. But against the big boys, he was a nothing.
He was a no-show. Yeah.
So maybe Alex Barrett can give you something on special teams and possibly be some type of depth for the 49ers. I feel like Barrett is going to be able to replace that Willis role. And not that I'm all for injuring players, Mark, but taking out Kyler Murray is definitely part of the game plan every time you line up against him.
Well, I want to applaud you because you did something I didn't think you were going to be able to do. And I didn't think you were going to be able to get through your 5 stars and 2 honorable mentions without naming Joshua Dobbs. So I'm impressed by you. That's a man not taking the low-hanging fruit. That's a man thinking outside of the box. That's a man that wants y'all to care what we discuss here on No Harm, No Foul, man. Wayne putting
exclusive on the Nothing But Niners channel. So make sure you guys subscribe to that channel if you aren't already subscribed.
You're not slick. All right, we get up out of here, man. We will see y'all tomorrow over on the Wayne Breezy channel exclusively. No other platform, exclusively on the Wayne Breezy channel for the BAM Show. But right now, we are signing out. No team is safe when the Niners are on the prowl. I'm Mike. That's Wayne. And this is No Harm, No Foul.